Hello there, my name is Francisco Fuhro, and amongst other things, I am a game developer enthusiast. You can find the link to my latest public game Springtale below. Today, I'll quickly speedwalk you through how I got to this final scene, while I give you my impressions about the new UE5 experience. Once you fire up UE5, the first thing that you will notice is the improved project browser experience with an entirely revamped layout. Once you create the project, we are greeted with the new editor loading splash art. And as a quick note, I do not think this one passes the sensation of getting on board a next-gen editor yet. The fresh new decluttered editor UI really focuses on putting the viewport at the center of the stage. We have a progress bar of the background process being discreetly displayed at the lower left with a juicy much needed progress bar. And I wonder if it is exposed to plugins so we can take advantage of it. Sleek animations to flag changes, giving space for the search control settings button. At the lower right we have a prompt saying that we can use a new combination of hotkeys, Ctrl plus spacebar to open the content browser. The new UI revamp is still familiar for those who came from before. I like the choices, but I'm not totally sold on the round corner scale and the angle drop shadow used in some places. The content browser feels faster, and the shortcut improves the workflow since you can summon the content browser from anywhere in the editor. Soon after that I started exploring how I could better see Lumen in action. I tried changing the skylight to movable and the indirect and direct light went black. I decided to get rid of every light related actor that came with the template that I could find and use the environment light mixer as I thought it would set up the light properly. Flipping the directional light visibility gave me the first indicators of how Lumen operates. The last thing to have was real-time indirect lighting working, so I set up the skylight real-time capture on the details panel and boom, the FPS dropped pretty hard. I went to Pi and started walking around. The light bounces from dynamic objects were a layer of realism that was really missing from the gameplay experience. Tried to see if the volumetric clouds were hitting the FPS and yes, they were. Some tests after I decided to create a red material and went sidetrack again once my eyes noticed the console command input. Reminds me of the Maya interface where you can use a place similar to change between Python and MouseScript. Right after that I forgot about the test material and started looking for what each icon was. I went about what was new in the I/O and immediately jumped to chaos because I wanted to blow things up. I got pretty sad with the results. My distraction went all popcorny and I gave up. Tried to see what was new about the new create drop down button because I want to model something with the edit mode that's displayed right at the center of the editor. I did notice that the edit mode was the old UE4 edit mode for BSPs and there were no options for the creation of BSPs on the new menu. I think that's because by the launch day, 1 year from now, the new mesh edit tools will be ready and the BSP will be officially deprecated. After getting familiar with the editor, I open up the project that I would like to replicate in UE5 and compare with Maya's Arnold. One thing that I noticed creating procedurally the sky texture is that the screen space GI plays a big part in Lumen. Once my bunny was not automatically lit as I was expecting from the front by the emissive texture. I thought it was the way that I have lit the scene, so I went after the HDRI backdrop and surprisingly it didn't accept a material as an input. Started placing lightings to get a similar effect as I was getting in Maya. I went quickly to the Maya scene to take a look on how I have set it up the light rig so I could replicate it in Unreal Engine. Right after implementing the lights the way I did in Maya, I quickly noticed that I wasn't getting the same result from the balls and indirect light. I created an actor to render my cube map to an HDRI and it did not work to light up the bunny. Seeing the future, my imminent fail, trying to replicate the same thing that I did in Maya in UE4, I went and cheated and filled up all the map with big area lights, faking the bounce light. And the next step was to set up the post-process volume and give it some nice balanced glows. One thing that I noticed as I was trying to increase complexity on the simple bunny white material was that I was not able to drag imperfections from bridge to the content browser. Once that was done, I went around trying to find the scalability settings. In the middle of it, I discovered a new feature that you can now customize the editor colors through the UI, and I'll definitely give it a shot sometime in the future. After some 20 good minutes lost, I sadly discovered that the settings were located in the top right corner in the editor where it's written settings. That's pretty sad. So that was the 8K image rendered in 4 seconds, and I had nice feelings about the future of UE5. Thanks for watching. Expect more videos to come. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell to get notified when new videos come out. Cheers, everybody.